so we've got some questions about parent pages. Let's put some stuff together. Let's go to InDesign. I'm going to start in inches. I'll build my file 16 by 9. In most print, when you're talking about print, you express the width first and the height second. So I'm going to do 16 by 9. You could do 17 by 11 if you wanted to, up to you. I'm going to skip these column controls. I want to just point out this button that says facing pages. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to leave it on for now. So here I am in InDesign. I have a bunch of panels open, but most importantly, I have my Pages panel open. And I got that here in the window. It's in alphabetical order, P for Pages. So this little kind of thumbnail represents the first page in the document. And I'm going to zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. If I keep pulling, these are parent pages up here. If I keep pulling the parent pages down, you can see InDesign is making an assumption that I want to make a document with facing pages like a booklet. And so it's giving me this spine down the center. If that's not what I want, if I want single pages, if I want to do, for example, a digital file that doesn't have this gutter in the middle, I would go to File. I would go back and find that little radio box again that says facing pages. We saw this in the page setup. And switch it off. Watch what happens. See that? It immediately becomes a single page document. So if you're doing, different iterations of a single page poster or an advertisement, this is how you'd like it. But if you are doing a booklet, you want to stick with that default. So let's go into these two parent pages. We have a left and a right. And again, I'm going to zoom out. So right now, I'm in the parent pages. These two pages are the parent pages. Just to show you the difference. This is page 1 of the document. I'm going to put a big green box on page 1. You'll notice that when I go to the parent pages, the big green box isn't there. Because right now I'm not in the document. I am on the parent pages. This is going to become important in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up my grid. And I want the grid on both of these. So Shift key. Select both, margins and columns. These are the margins and columns controls. So let's do a 2-column layout. And I'm going to put a fair amount of space between the columns. Now watch, I have unhooked the margins from each other, so I'm not moving in lockstep. If this was linked, as I made the columns bigger, you can see they're all moving together. I'm going to give the inside, I'm going to unhook it. I'm going to give the inside a little more air, so that when this thing gets bound, if anything is close to these edges, I don't want it to get, the expression is eaten by the gutter. So if this is 0.625, this is 1 inch. All right. So now I have 2 columns and I have a slightly more generous gutter. Let's put something on the parent pages. So let me I'm going to zoom into this right-hand page. Right? I have 2 of them, left and right. So on the right-hand page, I'll put my name. All right. And I'm going to move kind of outside the grid. I could use my rules to rule out a line if I wanted to get things consistent. And let's say on the left-hand pages, I'm going to grab this box. I can copy and paste it if I want to. And I'll pull it over here and I'll say, FIT Spring 2024, and I'm going to change it to flush right. Let me zoom out. Now, this is parent page A, and inside my document, I can see the little A's. It's telling me parent page A is applied to every page in the document because it's the only parent page I have right now. So if I click right here on page 2 of the document, here I am now. I've left the parent page template. I am in the document proper. And you can see every single right and left hand page reflects these items. All right, let's go back. Back on the parent page now. This is the biggest mistake I see people do as they learn parent pages is they'll put things in the document thinking that they're on the parent page, or they'll put things in the parent page that they really want on the document. So that's why I keep kind of stressing where we are. So let me go over here, and I'm going to put in the folios, aka the page numbers. And I'm going to marquee a box. Now, I'm going to come into type, and I'm going to say insert a special character. And the character that I want to insert is a marker, and it is the marker for the current page. Now, as I think you can see, there are all kinds of markers. These are for when you're doing magazine design. If you ever are reading a magazine and it says continued on page 10, that's what these are for. And previous page, like continued from page, that's what these markers are for, just in case you're wondering. But here's the one we need. Current page marker, and it says A. So the reason it says A is because we are on master page A. So this is the left-hand page. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste in place, so it's in exactly the same place. I'm going to put my finger on the shift key, and I'm going to slide that bugger over. And the reason I went to the trouble of doing that is because I want these page numbers in exactly the same spot on each page. I don't want them to bobble up and down from the left page to the right page. So paste in place tells me they're on the same level. The shift key, as I move it over, tells me that I'm on the same horizontal plane, and then I'll just do that. All right, so now I have my page placeholders. And again, if I go into the page, you're going to notice my page numbers. The page numbers will reflect the numbers here in the document. And in case you're wondering, you can manipulate this. There's something in InDesign called sectioning that will allow you to change, like if you wanted them to go in a different order, or you didn't want a first right-hand page, there's ways to manipulate that. But for now, let's just do this. So here's page 1. Here's page 2, page 3, page 4, all the way down. And you can go in and be a little fancy pants. Maybe what I want, instead of something along the top, maybe I want to come in here and add some type along the bottom. So let me go put my name in again. So I'll say Chris Dykman. I just have to make sure that this box is wide enough. Chris Dykman, and I'll put in a couple of spaces. I'll do option 8 to make a nice little bullet point. All right, and so Chris Dykman, page A. So now you can see that it's a footer. And if I try and grab these objects on the regular document pages, you can see that I can't. They're locked down. InDesign is making the assumption that you want these things to be consistent from page to page. Now, let's say this is all very well, but what if I want more than a 2-column spread? What if I want 3-column spreads, or 6-column spreads, or 8-column spreads, or so, whatever? Okay. So there are 2 ways to do this. I can come in here now and duplicate this parent spread. And you'll notice that the moment I duplicate that parent spread, now I have parent spread B, right? It looks exactly like parent spread A, but I can do what I like to it. So again, I'm going to go in, click on both pages with my shift key, margins and columns, and this time I'll do 3 columns. All right, so I did this version and this version. So both of these pages have 3 columns on them now. Now, I am going to go in and I'll add a bunch of copy so that this is a little easier. I'm going to fill with placeholder text, and I'll thread my columns like so. All right, let me grab some text, copy, paste, paste. I threaded my text boxes together, and I'm going to flow this text. I'm threading these text boxes. I'm just going to keep pasting in text. So I just want to be able to show you how this works. So here's page 1 and here's page 2. If I want page 2 to have 3 columns instead of 2, I'm going to click on this 3-column parent page. I'm going to put my finger on the option key. I'm here, option, click. And as you can see, the new parent page has loaded in. Move this out of the way so you can see. So if I move this out of the way, you can see now it's a 3-column parent page. And so if I come in here, now I can kind of reconfigure this stuff. Let's say I wanted some type here and some type here. See that? So you can customize your parent pages any way you would like. And you can have as many parent pages as you would like. Something that I highly recommend you do when you're working with parent pages is, once you've created your parent pages, name them in a way that makes sense. So I'm going to call this one 2-column. And I'm going to come over here. Let me click on this one, parent options, and I'll call this one 3-column. And then as I'm making my document, I can say, okay, I want a 2-column, 3 columns on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. So again, I'm going to click on the page. I'm going to put my finger on the option key and click, and there I've loaded in 3 columns. And so, maybe I want to be consistent, maybe I don't, but this is how you move from page to page. Now, I'm going to go in here and delete this stuff from this page. This is the first page of the document. In theory, this could be my title page if you were including the cover in your document, if you weren't going to break out your cover. What if I don't want a page number on the very first page? Well, you have a couple of options here. You have this default blank page. So if I click on this page, finger on the option key, I can load in this default blank page if I want to. Or if I'm still in option page A and I come up here, you see this little thing where it says override all parent page items? If I choose that, whatever page I'm on, I can now go in and edit just that parent page. You got to be careful with that one, but it allows you to do it if you want it. All right? And then just to make this clear, I could do, let's see, I could do, I'll go to object arrange and send that to the back. I can add color. I can add texture. You notice that, and you say, well, how come that didn't upgrade? Because I changed the left-hand page, and all of my left-hand pages are B pages. So here, let me go in and move this over to the right-hand page. Notice the moment I update the parent page, it updates here. It's a live update. And then as I go through the document, all of this has this. You can add watermarks, you can add texture, you can add pretty much anything you want. Bear in mind that parent pages, like every other page in InDesign, works in layers, right? So you would need to make sure when you add this to the parent page that it's in the back. So it's not sitting on top of any of your other content. All right? And then as you make the new pages in your document, it's up to you. Do I want the 2-column grid or the 3-column grid? You can do a 4-column grid. You can do as many grids as you want. You can change the headers. You can change the footers. All of that is up to you. All right. I hope that answered your questions, but if it didn't, please just let me know and I can do some more vids. We can talk about sectioning. We can talk about paragraph styles and character styles, which may help a lot as you go forward. Whatever you need, please just feel free to reach out to me.